My daughter and I were looking at jazz album covers in a garage sale the other day. She's 6 years old, and she saw this Art Tatum album cover. He was playing the piano, and he had a cigarette drooping from his lip in an old Blue Note jazz style. And she said, "Dad, what is that in his mouth?" And she's very, she's sick. She's taught a lot of things that I wasn't taught. And we were walking away, and I'm trying to be considerate. I said, "Well, I don't know, maybe it was a pencil. Could be a little bit pencil." And she goes, she takes about 20 more steps, and she goes, "Dad, why is he smoking a pencil?" Okay. I was asked to play this song this afternoon, and so I will. There's a freeway where we played football in the fields. Apartments on the pitch at Highbury. There's a shed called Deer Creek, of which my one critique is there's no creek now and it's all deer free. There's a Walgreens where there were no walls, just greenery, and a theme park in a palace in Tennessee. That tree there is a pylon, but some things you can't rely on. There's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. There's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. There's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. There's a hard luck story everywhere you look, but all the glory. There's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. There's a stadium where we used to drink at Freddy's for a team that no one likes or wants or needs. They said they'd revitalize the place. Now there's 1 million parking spaces, maybe bedrooms for the homeless refugees. There's a chain store where mom and pop once prospered. They're divorced now and they live in penury. Their kids grew up and moved away. I hear that happens anyway. There's a Starbucks where they live, I guarantee. A Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. A Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. There's a hard luck story everywhere you look, but all the glory. There's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. And I miss the old Starbucks, but the new one's just the same. It's got coffee, CDs, it's even got the same name. I wouldn't have even noticed, no, if you hadn't have told me. But there's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. There's a hard luck story everywhere you look, but all the glory. There's a Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. A Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. A Starbucks where the Starbucks used to be. The first thing I meant to do is thank the studio art students for creating the magnificent slideshow and displaying their pieces around the theatre. Well, I hope they are displayed around the theatre because the slideshow, I think, did not work. So I damn that problem. And we'll just say no more about it. But Alison Gazdick, Kathleen McLaughlin, and Sabrina Smith. Well done, even if your work was invisible. It's very nice having applause behind me as well, slightly. Makes me feel surrounded by love. Now, the first performance will be the Brooklyn Players Reading Society. Brooklyn Players Reading Society is a jazz-like. All right. So I should think you wrote it, didn't you? Oh, okay, good. It's a jazz-like spoken word quartet hailing from Brooklyn. The group features Ben Jaffe on saxophone, Crawford Forbes on keyboard, David Fine Firesheets on drums, and Becky Fine Firesheets on vocals. Unbelievably, they're not related. They just share the name Fine Firesheets by coincidence, because it's very common. They serve as Readin and Rhythm's house band and traditionally open every Readin and Rhythm performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Brooklyn Players Reading Society.
Hi, thank you for coming, everyone. We're the Brooklyn Players Reading Society.
So I guess one microphone?
Yeah, that's yours. England, 99 years old, died on December 25th, 2006. I remember the way her house smelled of perfume on top of must, the fading photographs and gaudy frames cluttered onto every flat surface in every room. She loved it when we came over. Her face would crinkle as she set an enormous display of cookies and crackers and soda water in front of us. Kids have a way of making old people smile, a smile that's mixed with absolute delight at the treasure of seeing something so young again, and absolute horror that youthfulness is so far away. My face in the image began to melt, stringy bits of skin dripping down like slime, bare bone and muscle exposed underneath. Glass shattered across the floor. "She's had the first sight," the cat called from her post at the door. I ran into the kitchen. A fluorescent light played tricks on the walls, a flash here, over there, across the room, revealed like spirits then snuffed out. On the table, a crystal bowl with chicken feet, reaching out like emaciated fingers climbing up from the earth, begging someone to grab hold and pull them back. Eli sat in a lawn chair by the table. He held open a yellow umbrella above his head. A handgun rested on his leg. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. A little boy appeared, clutching a bright pink chip bowl in his hands. The victim's daughter told cops she went to retrieve the hearing devices from a drawer in his room at the Atlantic Avenue nursing home at 7:40 p.m. That's when she realized that the devices were missing along with the quilt, which was worth a total of $2,448. Very crazy man met me today. Stumbled into the laundromat and raved. He said, quite an interesting mix of people in here, kinda makes me wanna reminisce. Told me about his life as a scientist. Claimed he traveled in time, met an alien. He said the human race is stuck in limbo. You don't know when or how to let go. To let go. To let go. To let go. Let go! On October 18th at 6:19 p.m., Patrolman Cooper arrested 22-year-old Shane Johnson of Madison, New Jersey, and charged him with possession of drug paraphernalia. Cooper initially stopped Johnson for running a red light on Main Street, after which he determined the suspect was in possession of narcotics. Johnson was taken to headquarters for processing and released to a friend pending a court appearance. He was also issued a summons for failure to maintain proper lamps on a vehicle. Kate England cried when Granny moved from the house next door to her. They had been friends for decades, for 57 years. She was stubborn, said Granny, refused to let anyone live with her. She was 99 years old, alone, went out to check her mail on a chilly December day, realized when she tried to get back in that she had locked herself out, and decided to wait on the porch. By the time her grandson came by that afternoon, she was already too cold. What was it like to be young so long ago? What was it like to be so old now? Did she feel alive when she was living? Does she feel alive now that she's dead? His mania somehow seeped into me. I wanted to know about his encounter. I said, if we're stuck in time, then that means we are responsible for our future. bathroom alone, I stare at my shoes. I am not one of those girls who wears high heels, spider legs crawling through webs of expectation. Smear on your porcelain face. Go catch some flies tonight. She's had the second sight, the cat called from her post at the door. Suddenly something gripped my hand and pulled me down the hall to Maura's room. The door opened on its own. Maura stood in the middle of the room, cleared of all its furniture with shattered glass all over the floor. The bottom of her face was deformed, chunks of scar tissue and lumps over pink flesh. Her dreads reached down to her bare feet, bloodied from all the glass she was standing on. Gauze bandages covered her arms from wrists to elbows. The tuxedo cat, dead with polished stumps for legs, was draped over her like a fur stole. "Greetings, Harper," she said. "The cat would like for me to announce that you have had the third sight." "No," I tried to scream, but no sound came out. "It's okay," Maura said. "I want to help you." She walked toward me, her steps robotic and jerky, reached out and held the sides of my head between her hands. I tried to pull away, but her grip was so strong I could barely move. She pushed me against the door, lifted me up, my feet dangling inches above the ground. She slid the thought band onto my forehead, positioned it against my temples. I reached my hands and tried to pull it off, but it wouldn't budge. "You must do something or this will be our future." Once you're lost at sea, don't expect to float home. It's important to faith, to feel, to find your way among all that meat on a stick. Like I said, very crazy man met me today. Stumbled into the laundromat and raved. What an interesting creature he was. He kinda makes me wanna Thank you.
Oh, that was a preview of next week's musical of Spring Awakening. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Players Reading Society. Who's up next? That was a daring piece of programming I thought up at the beginning of the set there. And I know that band, but in a different iteration, is also going to close the show this evening. Next up, a monologue by Keir K.J. Thompson. Keir K.J. Thompson is a senior theatre major. He was assistant director of this semester's Henry's Law. He has acted in Black History, Black Voices, Black History, Black Voices 2, Black History, Black Voices 3, but not Black History, Black Voices 4 because it doesn't exist, but it will perhaps. College Colours and Popcorn, ladies and gentlemen, Keir K.J. Thompson.
Hello, everyone. I'll be performing a monologue from August Wilson's King Hedley. My 5th grade teacher told me I was going to make a good janitor. Told me she could see by how good I erased the blackboards. Had me believe in it. I come home, told Mama Louise I wanted to be a janitor. She say, "You could be anything you want." I say, "Okay, I'll be a janitor." That's what I thought I was supposed to be. I didn't know no better. That was the first job I got, cleaning down that bar I used to be down on Wiley. Got one job. This man told me he was going to shoot me if he caught me stealing anything. I ain't worked for him 10 minutes. I quit right there. He called me a thief before I even start. Nisi saying I shouldn't have quit, but I'm a man. I don't bother nobody, and I know what's right from wrong. I know what's right from me. Tanya she asked me saying, "When are we gonna move?" She want a decent house, one the plaster ain't falling off the walls. I say, "Okay, but I got to wait." What I'm waiting on? I don't know. I'm just waiting. Told myself I'm waiting for things to change. That means I'm gonna be waiting here forever. Tanya deserved better than that. I go to any job and they ask me, "What can you do?" I say, "I can do anything. You give me the tanks and the airplanes, and I can go out there and win any war that's out there." Thank you.
Keir K.J. Thompson. Fantastic. Now, in an interesting note on my program, it says very clearly this is a reading by Frankie Lopes, pronounced Lopez, which has been crossed out, and it now says reading by Frankie Lopes, pronounced Lopes, like the verb. So this is, in fact, a reading by Frankie Lopes, pronounced Lopes, like the verb. Frankie Lopes recently transferred from Brookdale Community College to Fairleigh Dickinson University, where we are, for his junior year to continue his study of creative writing. He is a contributing journalist to Steez magazine and Garden State Skate magazine. His work has also been published in Transportal Literary Journal. Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Lopes.
So, this is an excerpt from a longer essay titled "Room for My Knees." My bedroom was no longer my bedroom. It was just a room with a bed and a copy of Franny and Zoe still opened on the nightstand. I opened the closet door, grabbed my duffel bag, and began filling it. Extra clothes, journals, books, laptop, birth certificate, passport, junk. Every object that I dropped into the bag pushed me further away from the house, until eventually, I wasn't connected to it at all. I slung the bag over my shoulder and left the room without closing the door. The creaks in the floorboards began calling out to me as I walked. Skewed nails bit into the rubber soles of my sneakers. I struggled to find the light switch to the kitchen, despite the fact that I had lived here for an entire year. Faded white light filled the room. The refrigerator looked painfully naked with the photographs of myself no longer held to its white skin. I felt myself grow older. The dishes from 4 nights ago still sat in the sink, waiting for me. I was the only person in the house, but I could still hear ice cubes cracking in brandy, the way they clinked against the side of the glass when it was tilted and raised, the clumsy thunk when it was placed back down on the old kitchen table. I leapt out of the door with new locks, stopped in the doorway and took what was once the only useful key I owned off of my key ring and dropped it onto the small stepping block. I left the front door wide open. While walking back across the driveway, I heard a distinct crunching beneath my feet. I stopped and crouched down to find the remnants of a broken bottle of brandy from earlier in the week. Upon realizing this, I knelt down and let my fingers graze the broken shards of glass. The body of the bottle had shattered on impact, creating tiny triangular shards that scattered amongst the rocks. The neck was still in one piece, because it had been held firm in the hand of maternal safety. I picked it up and felt its weight in my palm. Part of me fell into myself. I unscrewed the cap and tucked it into my pocket, placing the rest of the neck back onto the ground. After tossing the duffel bag into the back seat, I lit my lucky cigarette and turned to look at the house. I realized how much I loved symmetry, how I found comfort in the fact I could picture folding the house into itself. The windows would cover windows horizontally and vertically. I imagined folding the brick structure like a small piece of paper and bringing it with me, keeping it safe in my pocket with the bottle cap and my car keys until I was strong enough to try again, or until she was. I turned and got into the Trans Am, pushing and jiggling the ignition with my hand to start it before forcing it into reverse. I watched the house shrink backwards as I pulled away. Someone I would never meet told me about vacation spots I would never visit through the airwaves. Thank you.
Frankie Lopes. Frankie Lopes, it was fantastic, Frankie. Why did he need a whole nother music stand for it? Now it's just in the way. Sorry. I was backstage at my record label's 15th anniversary recently in Chapel Hill, and we were backstage, and it wasn't very difficult getting back there, but it annoyed one young man who was a very friendly backstage. Everyone was just standing around being very, affable to each other, and this guy came back there and he went, "Getting backstage is like getting into Nazi Germany." Very loud like that, and there was a long pause while everybody considered him. And then my friend Eugene Merman said, why would anybody want to get into Nazi Germany? And next coming up, he hasn't provided a bio, so I'll make one up. Born in the bayou. I don't know, I'm just sharing the same initials as our sweet Savior, Jesus Christ. No, I have nothing. I don't know anything about him at all. But his initials are JC. And he's an undergraduate student at Fairleigh Dickinson University, where we are, majoring in theatre. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Comier.
I'll be performing a monologue from Henry's Law, which we just did recently. That was mean. Which is weird, because Dr. Raposi isn't usually mean. I mean, generally, chemists are the more tolerant scientists. More tolerant than physicists, anyway. Not as nice as biologists, though. Probably because they spend so much time in basements without sunlight. The chemists, not the biologists. But I would spend a lot of time dealing with sunlight, obviously, because of taxonomy and ecology and ornithology. I wonder if anyone's ever done a study linking scientific discipline and psychology. Over time, of course. Of course, mathematicians are the worst in terms of elitism. Well, theoretical mathematicians, anyway. I shouldn't be advancing stereotypes. I know some very nice mathematicians. Well, one, anyway. He's very nice to me, anyway. What I mean is, the point is, Dr. Reposi shouldn't have said that. Thank you.
Jacob Comier. Warn me if they're going to be that short, because I'll just stay right here. Change of scenery. One of my favorite English comedians, this won't make any sense to you. One of my favorite English comedians was called Larry Grayson, and all he did was complain about his health. He very rarely told jokes. And he used to have a chair on him. That was his thing. He used to always have a chair with him. He said, well, I just like a little company. And he would walk on and go, oh, I've been terribly ill. I mean, that was the whole routine, really. Occasionally he'd go, shut that door, there's a terrible draft. I thought he was very funny. But can you believe that it's the last act before the intermission? I say tribute to the people who put this show together. And this is a musical performance by Freddie Bourne and Matt Long. Freddie Bourne is a singer-songwriter and keyboard player from Jackson, New Jersey. He was the winner of Liberty Idol of 2010 at Jackson Liberty High School, third place finalist of Freehold Idol. Would that be Freehold, New Jersey? I wonder if Bruce Springsteen was a judge. In 2008, and was a top 20 finalist in New Jersey Idol in 2012. He hasn't been idle. As a solo act, he has opened for artists such as Tyler Hilton, M.R. Smith, Peyton Penning, and played at venues like the National Underground, Coffee Works Style and Ballroom, Le Grand Fromage. Could be Le Grand Fromage, I'm thinking, but it could also be Fromage, and the Stone Pony. Matthew Long is a freshman psychology and major at Fairleigh Dickinson. He has been playing for 4 years now, mainly self-taught. Previously, Long performed in 2 bands and performed in a handful of concerts across New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Bourne and Matt Long. And as I was saying, are we ready? Angela Merkel, do you know who she is? She goes to France, and when she's entering the immigration, they say to her name, she says Angela Merkel. Nationality, German. Occupation, no, I'm just here for the weekend. You had to think about it, didn't you? But it finally came. Haven't been very well recently. Okay, is it making noise?
No, it's not making noise.
That's why I'm standing here. I'm standing here covering. I was backstage at that very same event, and my friend Scott McCoy was going to do Revolution Blues by Neil Young. And he was like, oh my God, I've got to go on, but I don't know a lyric in the third verse of Revolution Blues by Neil Young. I was like, hey, I have an iPhone. We can check it. That's what it's for. Safari, Revolution Blues, lyrics, Neil Young. And so we looked it up, and he looked at it, and he's got all this hair and these dark glasses, and he goes, oh yeah, fine, thanks. I go, what was it? What was the lyric you forgot? He said, oh, the lyric was, I got the Revolution Blues. You ready?
We are good.
Have you got a microphone?
I will just need that one.
Right. Let me hold you back no longer.
Thank you for stalling for us. I usually have to stall for myself, so I'm very happy. Yes! Oh, yes. All right. Hi, I'm Freddie Bourne. This is Matt Long. Say hi, Matt. Say hi to Matt. Yeah, originally I was approached to do this alone, and then I was like, no, I want to do this with a guitar player. So let's see how this works. We're gonna do some random songs, but yeah, we just learned them like 5 minutes ago, so we're gonna do it. Ready?
The book of love is long and boring. No one can lift the damn thing. It's full of charts and facts and figures and instructions for dancing. But I love it when you sing to me, and you can read me anything. The book of love has music in it. In fact, that's where music comes from. Some of it's just transcendental. Some of it's just really dumb. But I love it when you sing to me, and you can sing me anything. The book of love is long and boring and written very long ago. It's full of heart in heart-shaped boxes and things we're all too young to know. But I love it when you give me things, and you can give me wedding rings, and I love it when you give me things, and you can give me wedding rings. You can give me wedding rings.
I felt weird where the mic was. I was like leaning down. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah, so that was the Book of Love, Peter Gabriel version, Magnetic Fields, though. Okay, this last song, this song's usually done a cappella, and it sounds really weird, but we tried our best to change it up a little bit, make it our own, so we hope you guys enjoy it. This is Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap.
Where are we? What the hell is going on? The dust has only only just began to fold. Crop circles in the carpet, sinking feeling. Spin me round again and rub my eyes. This can't be happening when a busy streets a mess with people who start to hold their heads heavy. Hide and see. Trains and sewing machines. Oh, those ears, they were here first. Early marks appear on the walls where pleasure moments hung before the takeover. The sweeping insensitivity of this still alive. Hide and see. Trains and sewing machines who won't watch me around here. Blood and tears, they were here first. What'd you say? Hey, oh, that you only meant well, well, of course you did. What'd you say? Hey, oh, that is just a while we need for you decided this. What'd you say? Hey, oh, this is what a while we need for you decided this. What'd you say? Oh, what did you say? Ransom notes keep falling at your mouth. Bittersweet talk, newspaper cutouts. Speak no feeling, no, I don't believe you. You don't care a bit, you don't care a bit. And hide and see. You don't care a bit, no, you don't care a bit, no, you don't care a bit, no, you don't care a bit, you don't care a bit, no, 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 you don't care a bit, you don't care a bit, no, you don't care a bit. Thank you very much. Matt Long, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for helping.
Oh, turn them up. Whichever you like. Nope. I'll play a very quick little song before we begin bring on our first person of the second half. I'm on the street talking with friends in the middle of the show until the cigarette ends. Drink a little whiskey, back inside. Drink a couple more until we're slightly fried. When the curtain falls, It's a fair cop, so welcome to the adrenaline drop. I love the buzz. Well, I love the buzz. Just because I love the buzz. Who doesn't? Well, I know who does. I love the buzz. I love the buzz. Well, I'm at a party breaking the law. I always want just a little more conversation. Better friends, fools go to bed before the nighttime ends. When the sun comes up, it's time for bed. Unless you want to get food instead. I love the buzz. Well, I love the buzz. Just because I love the buzz. Who doesn't? Well, I know who does. I love the buzz. I love the buzz. Well, I'm at your steps, scratching your door, looking for a cat flap I used before. Have you got somewhere to go? Something to eat? Sometimes I wish we were both in heat. When you close the door, take off your dress. And if you're wondering the answers, yes, I love the buzz. Well, I love the buzz. Just because I love the buzz. Who doesn't? Well, I know who does. I love the buzz. I love the buzz. Well, take me to the field where you keep your bees. Bring booze, bring smokes and a ton of weed. Then set up the speakers in the pale moonlight. Please press play, we'll dance all night. When it couldn't feel better to be alive, that's when I'll stick my head in the hive. I love the buzz. Well, I love the buzz. Just because I love the buzz. Cue applause, but don't call the fuzz. I love the buzz. 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 Thank you very much. Where are these people who are sitting here? Did the person they'd come to see play already? That's a bit lame, isn't it? Or maybe they had class. You don't know. Actually, it's slightly a change to the previous schedule. It's a reading by Melissa Falavino. Melissa Falavino grew up in rural Wisconsin, of which the state motto is "Come up and smell our dairy air," where she spent most of her time in the woods. She received a BA from the University of Wisconsin in Madison and an MFA from Sarah Lawrence College. Her fiction and nonfiction has appeared in Diagram, Din, Isthmus, and Lumina, where it was a finalist for the 2011 nonfiction contest judged by Vivian Gornick. Melissa has edited science fiction novels and Midwestern travel guides. Seems very closely linked. It's like from A to B and back again. Science fiction novels and Midwestern travel guides, and currently works on the editorial staff of Poets and Writers magazine. Please give a round warm applause for Melissa Falavino. We have a new tactic.
Perfect.
No one shall fuck with my microphone anymore.
Can I just fuck with it a little bit?
Sure, if you like.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Midwestern travel guides are, in fact, science fiction, so they work together really well. Thank you for having me here tonight. This has been lovely. So I'm going to read a nonfiction essay that has sort of fictional elements to it, because I write a little of both, so, you know, it's hybrid. Don't ask me what's true and what's not. I won't tell you. It's called Driftless. 1. In that driest season, Katie Wiley's father, the farmer, hung himself in the family's barn. We were only 13 and barely had a grasp on death, let alone suicide. We thought that he'd done it because of the drought. because the crops were not yielding, because the corn had dried up. We went to the funeral and I wore a dress. The casket was open and he had a flannel shirt and Levi's on, the same belt he always wore, with a longhorn buckle. His fingers were calloused, his skin was dark. I heard someone say, "They did such a nice job, he looks just like Dan," and I wondered who else he might look like. I put one hand on the coffin, the wood of it cold. I never knew his name was Dan. In late July, I kissed Katie Wiley beneath a dead oak tree. We stood at the edge of a hayfield on the farm that was by then for sale. That summer, we were the people of the prairie. Somewhere out beyond the dried up corn and wheat and soy, there were hills and bluffs and lakes and trees. But there in the prairie, on the flattest plain of field and farm, in the endless stretch of in-between, the pale yellow earth seemed to stretch on forever. We ran for miles at a time, trying to find the place where land met sky. We yelled into the wind, but no one heard. We hiked through the goldenrod up to our chests, our eyes swelling and skin itching, and laid down to watch the clouds move east. And we went back the way we came, to make it home in time for dinner, leaving outlines of our bodies in the ground behind us, bright yellow dust on our skin. Years later, when the rains came and wouldn't go, when we were taller but no stronger, we drank pilfered beer in unfinished basements. We stayed up late and cut our fingers with scissors, pressed them together until our pulses beat in time. And later still, in the pre-dawn, when the night's thunderstorms had ended and before the morning rain would come, we walked to the softball fields and sat on home plate to watch the sunrise. We ran the bases, our legs wobbly, our bare arms cold. We talked of pop flies and missed catches, killer strikes and home runs, stories that we'd been telling ourselves since we were 8 and on the field together for the first time, our legs thinner and tanner then, our hair lighter. We rolled our bodies like barrels down the hill in center field and landed at the bottom, where cleat marks were still carved in the cold earth, where the ghosts of mosquitoes still buzzed. We breathed hard, our backs on the ground, our knees and elbows covered in dirt, our bodies close but never touching. 2. Once I met a man and fell in love. He was older but had scars on his arms like mine. He came from the prairie, from the flattest part of Illinois, but had come to Wisconsin to study the trees. We spent our days together walking through the woods, through forests of white pine and balsam fir, through cedar, hemlock, and tamarack, through bur oak and poplar, basswood and chestnut, box elder and beech, through trees with more dangerous names like buckthorn and chokecherry. He knew the Latin names and tried to teach me, quizzed me beneath the fat heart-shaped leaves of the catalpa, beneath the long trailing strands of the weeping willow, beneath the maple and the birch. Acer rubrum, Pinus strobus, Betulacea. Under the elms he told me of the disease that had almost wiped them from the earth. He held buds in his fingers, ran his hands over the bark, and I wanted him to touch me like he touched the trees. He told me about a place called the Driftless area, a section of land that began just 30 miles from where we lived, that stretched northwest to Winona, south to Galena, and west to Dubuque. It was a place where the land and what lived beneath it was different, a place where the silt and clay and sand, drift it was called, what glaciers should have left behind, didn't exist. We walked to the edge of the woods where the thick forest broke and revealed a valley below, which seemed to stretch on forever. Out there were the trees and the bluffs of the Baraboo Range, and the rivers named for Indian tribes, the Chippewa, the Kickapoo, the Pecatonica. Somewhere even further was the Mississippi. The wind tossed the grasses at our feet, made them bend and blow and buckle like knees. Out there in the driftless area where the Amish farmers lived, he had once built a cabin with his own 2 hands. He took me to the lake one summer, up north we called it, to a place called Minocqua. We stopped along the way in the small town where he'd gone to college, climbed the hill to the tracks, and waited. We heard the whistle, felt the humming in our feet. He said, "Grab onto a rung as it passes. It won't be going fast, and hold on. Run alongside till you catch your footing, then swing your legs on board. Let it carry you." And so we hopped the freight train that ran through the trees to Main Street, like he had when he was 20, like we would back home in later years, to kill the time, when we lived in a little house on Wilson Street, where the train passed through our backyard, carrying coal into the city. We rode the rails, our fingers wrapped tight around the rusted ladder. We tried to yell, our necks bent upward toward the sky, but the wind got stuck in our throats. It was August and hot. Hotter, we swore, than it had ever been before. Hotter than any summer in Wisconsin had any right to be. But the high trees gave us shade, and the wind that breathed through the branches was cool on our skin. We swam in the lake, and the water was cool, and for a moment or two I let my arms and legs go limp, let my body fall beneath the surface. I opened my eyes under water, and in the darkness felt the sand and silt and tiny rocks between my toes. I saw small fish, bluegill maybe, or perch, like my father had taught me how to catch so many summers before. He'd shown me how to bait the hook myself, how to stab a night crawler through its chest with the sharp metal hook and tie its body in a knot. I'd stood on the dock, wanting to run, the slick thing writhing in my hands, blood and dirt on my fingers, but refused to stop until the worm was tied, knotted tight in my hand and still wriggling. 3. There was a red-haired girl who lived in our house, who was ours but never mine. Her skin was the color of paper birch, her hair like the leaves of sugar maples in the fall. In the springtime, when she was 7, we planted a pear tree in our backyard together, just she and I, soil on her fingers and knees. Its tallest branch was ankle high. I said, "One day this tree will be taller than you." And she said, "I will grow tall as the sky." And I was her age in a heartbeat, planting maples with my mother, a red in the front yard for me and a silver out back for my father, near the mountain ash with the bright orange berries that they would eventually have to cut down because of something called a borer. And in the spring we planted perennials, the burning bush, the bleeding heart. And I cried in that first autumn when the flowers, small and thick and pink, whose petals had just a few weeks before been bursting, shriveled and fell to the ground. 4. On a Friday night in late July, we stood on the edge of a rock quarry, and he said, "What if I jumped?" And I said, "I'd catch you. I'm stronger than you think." We dropped stones into the black mouth of the cavern below us, but never heard them fall. And I told him about the time when I was 12, on Katie Wiley's farm, in the hayloft with her father. Her parents had split up, and I helped out on the weekends sometimes, planting seeds and feeding the horses. He took us riding sometimes. He wore overalls that day and smelled like sweat. His skin was tan and dirty, black moons of dirt beneath his nails. His beard was thick and golden. He looked older than he was. "It's a shame you're not a farm girl," he said. "Your shoulders are built for it." And I flexed for him and grinned my wide, crooked grin, one tooth missing in the way back, where I let my tongue rest in the empty socket. And he squeezed my bicep with his big farmer hand. He pressed hard into my skin, his large, calloused fingers wrapped tight around my small, smooth muscle. He let his hand linger there, and I felt something turn in my stomach and further below, and I was scared at first, but when he took his hand away, I wanted him to put it back. There were goosebumps on my arm where his hand had been. I could throw a ball further than most boys in my class, could do more push-ups in gym. But there in the hayloft, with Katie Wiley's father, his big farmer hands on me, I felt softer. Standing on the quarry's edge, I said, "We're made of stronger stuff, you know. We have a thicker skin, of hardy stock, like Grandma used to say, a tough constitution. We're the people of the prairie," she said, "meat and potatoes, rough and tumble, skin knees and bruises, twisted ankles and Charlie horses, goose eggs and black eyes, but never a broken bone." 5. In that final summer, on the last of our days together, he will take me to the cabin that he built with his own 2 hands, in Amish country, near a town called Sugar Grove, in the heart of the driftless area. And I'll leave just a few days later, pack some boxes and bags in a pickup truck, and head 1,000 miles east. I'll leave behind the hills and the bluffs and the fields and the farms, the rivers and the lakes named for Indian tribes, and I will drive to the coast. On the day I leave, I'll say, "I'm sorry. I never meant for it to be like this. But I am driftless too, you see. The rocks and silt and clay and sand, the things that make us up, the stuff that should be inside us, right here below the skin, they just don't exist in me." But on those final days, in late August in Wisconsin, we will run together through the fields at night, bourbon drunk, The red-haired girl, who will be 12 by then, who will have his teeth and freckled skin asleep in the cabin, and the fire in the front lawn still burning behind us, though we'll never look back to see it, and we will run until we find the trees. And we will yell into the wind, and our voices will carry, through the hills and the quarries, through the miles of field and farm beyond, along the big river that somewhere leads to the sea. And the sound will surge and pitch and swell until it shakes the branches of the trees, though no one will hear but us. And we will fall together when we reach the creek, throw our bodies in the water, and we will lie in the grass together, wet and trembling, our bodies close but never touching, hands and legs and dirt and skin, sand beneath the current. We drift but never move. Thank you.
Melissa Falavino, yeah. Fantastic. And now a monologue by Danielle McMath. Danielle McMath is a sophomore musical theatre, literature and quest major from Bridgewater, New Jersey. She recently worked on Henry's Law. Yes. By Stacey Lentz as the dramaturg and production coordinator. Previous shows include Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, in which she played the part of Muriel, Thoroughly Modern Millie, Miss Flannery, The Wizard of Oz, Aunt Em, and Anything Goes reporter. Ladies and gentlemen, Danielle McMath.
I'll be performing a monologue from Chapter 2 by Neil Simon. You know what you want better than me, George. I know I'm not as smart as you. But there's one thing I do know. I know how I feel. I know that I can stand here watching you try to destroy everything I've ever wanted in my life, wanting to smash your face with my fists because you won't even make the slightest attempt to opt for happiness, and know that I still love you. That's always so clear to me. It's the one place I get all my strength from. You mean so much to me that I'm willing to take all of your abuse and insults and insensitivity because that's what you need to do to prove that I'm not going to leave you. If you want to test me, go ahead and test me. You want to leave, then leave. But I'm not the one who's going to walk away. I don't know if I can take it forever, but I can take it for tonight. And I'll tell you something, George. No matter what you say about me, I'm still happy with myself. I know that I'm feeling better than I was when I thought that there was no one out there in the world for me, and even better when I thought that I wasn't good enough for you. Well, guess what? I am. I'm wonderful. And if you're so stupid that you'll throw away someone as sensational as me, then you don't deserve as good as you've got. If you want me, then fight for me, because I'm fighting like hell for you. Thank you.
The sensational playwriting of Paul Simon. I had the pleasure of interviewing Pete Townsend the other day on a stage in Philadelphia, and I was slightly nervous about it before because he can be a bit of a prickly person. And he wasn't. He was charming and fantastic. And I had to take all these students' cards, not students, people coming to I was just, because you're students, but they were just people. In fact, they were very old. And there was 1,000 of them, and everybody had a stupid question for Pete Townsend. And I had them all in a huge pile of index cards, and the best one was, I was throwing them away one by one because they were terrible. And the best one was, Pete Townsend, what did you mean by the song Another Brick in the Wall? I did ask that one. And he actually gave a very good answer about how he felt that his Roger Waters and his lyrics were very similar to each other and how much he liked Pink Floyd. Terrible questions can get great answers. Next up, a reading by Dave Brudner. Dave Brudner is a senior student, creative writing major and humorist who hasn't been published anywhere. or done anything exceptional at all ever. This is a very, very good bio, by the way. This wins Bio of the Day award. And it is really just excited to be here. But that wasn't enough, was it? That you gave them that intro and they said that wasn't enough. So you added, he mainly writes poems and short stories. Ladies and gentlemen, the most modest person here, Dave Brudner.
Hi. Usually I write things that are like funny or absurdist, but lately that's felt kind of meaningless. So I decided to try something more personal and serious and honest. And so I saw an attractive girl the other day, so this is a poem to her. It's called Love Letter to a Pretty Lady. I'm not a passionate guy or anything. I like sugar in my coffee and crackers in my soup. Can't make you laugh or cry, and I don't know many things, like atomic theory or weather patterns. And sometimes I have trouble waking up in the morning and putting pants on. I'm not big or strong, and the last time I used power tools was the last time my friend Ralph was able to see power tools. I'm what you might call a fixer-upper. I don't have any money and I don't work or wear deodorant. My nose hair is out of control. I put a disgusting amount of ketchup on my food. I enjoy smelling my own socks. I peel and eat my own scabs. I wear women's underwear. I keep my toenails in a jar, and I get erections at inappropriate times. I'm not the nicest guy in the world either. I like to make children cry. And I don't like meat, but I eat it anyway because I hate animals. I'm suspicious of Asian people. I pee on the seats of public toilets. I single-handedly caused the largest outbreak of urinary tract infection in West Oklahoma's history. I know a way to solve the energy crisis, but I'm not going to tell anyone. I sold secrets to China and plutonium to North Korea. I stood on the tip of South Florida and sent refugees back to Cuba. I cheer against competitors at the Special Olympics. I put Nixon into power. I gave Magic Johnson AIDS. I injected steroids into Lance Armstrong. I sold drugs to Amy Winehouse. I invented anthrax. I killed Kennedy, and I caused the Challenger to explode. So maybe I'm not the greatest guy in the world, but pretty lady, you're the prettiest lady I've seen since the last pretty lady I saw. And I bet you'd look good with the lights off. So I hope that sometime you'd like to get a cup of coffee with me. Thanks. Oh, wait, my bad. I have one more. Sorry. Thanks. This next poem is a poem describing what my butt is. It's called A Poem Describing What My Butt Is. A United States president angry at how long things take to pass through certain chambers. The Exxon Valdez spill destroying ecosystems and changing the color of the ocean. A time machine capable of sending me back hours ago to when I ate suspicious roadside cheeseburgers. My father, irritated and red with a whisper of a mustache. A radio to an alien race that communicates through a language that harmoniously combines smell and sound in a disturbingly beautiful way. A bank vault, very difficult but not impossible to break into. A symphony, an opera, the great American novel, long-winded and inaccessible to today's youth. A pair of hams hanging in a deli stamped with their expiration date, March 14th. A comic book hero fighting crime with a soft spot for a handsome news reporter and a secret weakness that can't explicitly be told here, and a lady's purse able to hold a lot more shit than you would think. Thank you.
That was very good. The first one reminded me of the joke. Some people say that pornography is something to be frowned upon, but it's just that I have to concentrate very hard. Somebody hissed that joke? All right. Tough crowd. Next up, a monologue by Ashley LaSelva. Ashley LaSelva is a senior acting and education major. She was recently seen as Annie in Henry's Law. FDU's first touring production. Where did you tour? How many places, roughly? 4. Out of state? No, in state. Excellent. You didn't need your passport. Other favourite roles include Sunny in The Last Night of Ballyhoo and Miss Cratchit in Gypsy. Will you please welcome, with her monologue, Ashley LaSelva.
How do I do it? Yeah. Okay. I'll be doing a monologue from Henry's Law. Do you know what my least favorite part of every semester is? Attendance. At the beginning of the year. I'm B, so I don't have to wait too long, you know? Abernathy Robert, Alvarez Leah, Anders Allison, Anderson Jamila, Atkins William, Bart Christopher, Bernstein. Any relation to Max? As far as the teachers at Clearview go, that's basically my first name. For the first couple of weeks anyway. Any relation to Max Bernstein? Oh, don't get me wrong. They eventually learn my name. Once they figure out I'm stupid. Once I get my first C, they pretty much leave me alone. It's only those first few weeks that I'm Max's sister. What really gets me? They're always calling on me, even when my hand isn't raised, like the wrong answer I gave 10 minutes ago must have been a mistake. The worst is when I somehow manage a B+ right off the bat. That's the worst. That's when they get this pathetic look on their faces, like Shrek when he's trying to save Far, Far Away from Rumpelstiltskin. You know, like they're just trusting me to pull 100% right out of my butt. But it's that first second, right after Bernstein, that I just want to bash their stupid faces in. Any relation to Max? Thank you.
Ashley LaSelva. I have no idea what the play Henry's Law is, but I'm fascinated now. We've heard so much about it this evening. It's about a legal law firm owned by a guy called Henry. Is that right? No, I don't know. I have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to suggest to you is that you do not have to sit right there while the band plays, because that would be silly. Please take your seats in the audience. And coming up... And it is the final act of the night. I'm going to read their thing that is written here for you in my English accent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought that showmanship was dead, if you thought there were no longer entertainers out there in the world who would stop at nothing to entertain you, did you think these things? A little bit and no. Okay? If you thought that auto-tune had killed the radio star, if you thought there were no longer performers who view the past as the key to the future, if you thought that James Brown and Bob Dylan did not in fact have a love child, you were wrong. Introducing the Yoni Gordon Orchestra. Don't amble, run. I shall just cover until... Are you starting off on your own? Okay, fantastic. So...
Don't need any introduction. Say you know who I am. Well, you know where I come from. You heard about my plan. I drove many long miles just to stand where I stand. Now can I get a witness? Go on, raise your hands. Said, raise your hands. Well, raise your hands. Well, raise your hands. I drove West Cross, Texas, with a promise on the line. I'm not in it for the money. All debts are paid in time. I put the tools of my trade in the palm of my hand. I put a coin in the air. We see how it lands. And you can call heads or tails. You can leave it to chance. Shot rings out in the air. Now you know where I stand. Ah, you know where I stand. Ah, you know where I stand. Said hidey, 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 hide. Said hoody, 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 oh. Said hidey, 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 hidey. Maybe you lost your loved ones. Maybe you buried them today. Spend the rest of your life just to see the next bill get paid. Well, if it doesn't happen now, it's gonna happen someday. Lord, you can't stop what's coming. It's already on its way. 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 was 2 years ago to the day, on a night just like this one. There was that pre-fall chill in the air. Because it's not quite cold enough yet, you know what I'm saying? It's that pre-fall chill. You can still walk through the days with a light jacket on. You still look good, you know? You don't have to cover up all your good parts, you know? And it was 2 years ago to the day that I had to get out of town. You know what I'm saying? I had to get in the car and I just had to go. And I didn't know where I was gonna go just yet. I just knew I had to leave. I'm not talking about one of those road trips where you program the playlist and you bring the Trader Joe's trail mix, the one that's good, you know, the good kind now, with the yogurt covered raisins. I'm not talking about that. No, I'm talking about the road trip where you get in the car and it's not until you've passed through the Holland Tunnel that you finally consult your atlas. Because you have no fucking idea where you're going. And all you know is you gotta go somewhere because where you're at right now is no good. You gotta get in that car and you gotta drive west. Go west, young man. That's what the voice told me. So I drove and I drove, and it wasn't 2 hours, it wasn't 4 hours, it wasn't 8 hours, 10 hours! 10 hours behind that wheel. And I drove until the sun went down and the sun came up and the sun went down again. And I found myself in that place, that beautiful land, the Southwest. And I was driving to Cayente under the crescent moon. And I said, I need to wet my whistle. And as luck would have it, right about that time, up ahead, on my left, and I'm talking about stage left here, not house left, but stage left. There was this little abandoned gas station, but past the gas station was this little shithouse shotgun shack. So I pulled the car off to that gravelly road there. And I got out of that car and I walked to that shithouse shotgun shack. And I opened the door. And there, inside that shack, was a stage. And on that stage was a band. And not just any band, but the best band that no one had ever heard of. And they were playing all the hits tonight. They were playing rockabilly music. They were playing Tex-Mex music. They were playing slow dances. And I'm not talking about grinding, but I'm talking about slow dances, couple dances. And there was food there too. And it was the best food that you ever smelled in your life. And they had baked bean barbecue bullshit and you're vegetarian, but it smells so good you can't help yourself. And I sat down at one of those long picnic tables that they fit somehow inside of that shithouse shotgun shack. But I couldn't eat. I couldn't enjoy myself. That's right. I had something on my mind. I had someone on my mind. I had the one on my mind. And I know you know the one that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that noticed the haircut that no one else noticed. I'm talking about the one when it's your birthday on Facebook, you looked specifically to make sure that they posted a happy birthday note. And it wasn't just a happy birthday note, there was a smiley face too. And I know you know that one. We all got that one. That one that got away. And right about the time that I was ready to push that plate of baked bean barbecue bullshit out from underneath my nose and get in that car and drive another 10 hours until I reached the coast, right about that time, that band on that stage began to play. Dance hall was crowded. There's a band side to play. Everybody was laughing and trying to get laid. You sat in a corner and I could see on your face you're in your own head with the one who got away. Everybody was moving, and the music was great. You were busy pushing the food around on your plate. Then the lights grew dimmer, the room started to sway. You mumbled something about looking for the one who got away. You can look back in time at the events that have taken place. You can try to unwind the look you left on her face. And you will end up losing your place. Then the music got louder as the rain started to fall, and nobody cared much as it flooded into the hall. We all danced in a puddle, love paper mache, and the crowd went wild as the band began to play. Down onto the floor, they were shoving and pushing, so I made my way to the door. We went same direction. You headed the other started to pay. Thank you. Before the sidewalk walks away, I'm going down to the Italian town. I'm gonna chop off both of my legs. Then I'll come home drunk, wake up the wife and kids, and in the morning they'll be here to be. Well, if I come home at all, I'm doing it the hard way, the hard way. just enough to get you out of bed. You stop believing all the gold you struck, but you just fucking with your own head. Well, put your money down, let's play another round, because my number's gotta hit someday. Well, if my numbers come around, they're coming the hard way, the hard way. The hard way. The hard way. The hard way. Take 'em to the bridge. Show's over, bells are ringing, ropes are bloody, but I'm still swinging. Some people never know when to take a fall, some don't learn at all. You wanna know what's going through my mind? We'll go on, take a look into my face. I live my life like I got no control. Well, it's just something taking place. Well, take a look around, man, I could own this town if it wasn't for the bed break. Well, if I break through at all, I'm doing it the hard way. Guys like us. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I see guys like us, they're holding us for ransom. Friday comes, find me out there dancing, shooting my stuff, my pants are down around my knees. I say, come, my bluff, go on and name your number. Times get tough, the way it could pull you under. But guys like us, maybe just the thing you need. Maybe I don't need to save your soul. Try to take control. I'm on the road with you. But if you want a day just to get into my bed, all you gotta do accepted. I'm fucked up too many flies you mention. A fall down drunk, it's just a thing you need. And then thunderstruck, but don't you wait to wonder. Call me up, baby, I know the number. But guys like us going down in history. I don't need to save your soul. Try to take control. I'm on the move with you. But if you want to date, just to get into my bed, all you gotta do is ask, bam! Whew. Oh my God. Oh my God. The orchestra sounds good tonight. That's it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know how you kids do this day in and day out. All you eat for dinner is from the snack machine. They took away my red cup, R.A. busted me, brought me down. That's right. I got a little secret to let you in on. Now bring it down here, orchestra, because I wanna do some truth telling. Oh, that was nice. Do another one of those snare things. Ooh! Another one! Yesterday, October 22nd, was this little boy's birthday. And I'm not gonna ask you to try to guess my age, because I like to think that I wear it on my sleeve. That's right. I didn't get to be this way. I didn't get to be so smooth. I didn't get to look so good in just 21 years. No, because when I was 21, I was having some fun. When I was 22, I thought that was through. And I thought when I was 23, I thought I was going to be at set 3. And when I was 24, I needed a little bit more. And when I was 25, I thought I was barely alive. And when I was 26, I said, nix, 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 nix. But when I was 27, I thought I was going to get to heaven. But when I was 28, I thought it was a little bit too late. But when I was 29, I thought, I'm fine, fine, fine. But then I crossed that line. And I know you know that line. 30, flirty, and thriving. Ooh. But then it got worse, because when I was 31, I thought, oh, this is gonna be fun. But when I was 32, I thought, now I'm really ready to be through. But then something happened the other day. Something happened yesterday. Something momentous took place 24 hours ago. This little boy turned 33. And you know what I got for my birthday? Do you know what I got for my birthday? I I got fired on my birthday. But you know what that did? It just fired me the fuck up. They said you need to get out. But I said it's gonna take more than a little involuntary termination to bring me down on my birthday. I said it's gonna take more than a little piece of paper that says your last day of work is October 26th. And by the way, I called in today because they owe me that much. Ooh, that's right. I said I wrote this song, and I wrote it for guys like us. And you don't gotta be a guy to be a guy like us. You just need to be someone who might be in need of a little bit of a boost. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to boost you up. I'm here to bring you up. Do you wanna be brought up? Do you wanna be brought up? Do you wanna be brought up, brought up, brought up, brought up, brought up, brought up? Then next time you go to that party, the one that you weren't necessarily invited to, but you thought you might be cool enough to show up to, the next time you go to that party, and you see all those pretty dancing boys and dancing girls, and you need a little confidence boost, then I'm here to give you this song. And you can walk up to those pretty dancing boys and those pretty dancing girls, and you can say, you could take your chances with the younger boys, take them to the dances. When it's ladies' choice, and I'll be in the back room, making all of that noise. I know you had your heart set on ladies, man, but things don't always go down the way you plan. I'll be in the said I'll be in the back room. Hop, said I'll be in the back room. Get the fist up. Said I'll be in the back room. I said I'll be in the back room. I said I'll be in the back room. That's it. Said I'll be in the back room. I'm making all of that noise. I'll be making all of that noise. I'll be making all of that noise. I'll be making all of that noise. I said noise. I said noise, noise, noise. I don't need to save your soul. Try to take control. I'm on the roof. But if you just to get into my pants, all you gotta do love. Now I know we had something like 20-25 minutes, so I don't want to go on and on and on here. I'll leave it up to the event organizers and to Wes. We could keep playing, but we can stop now too and turn it back over to Wes. So I'll defer to your judgment, sir. You know what, Wes? You should just come up and do it. I feel like that's the right move. Yeah, I mean, not that I should call the shots, but it was really my birthday. I'm not gonna bullshit. Is that right? Libra. Oh my God.
I went down to buy a pack of cigarettes at our drugstore, and the guy said, "You look happy." I said, "Oh, it's my birthday," and he which I didn't look happy, but it was my birthday, and he scrabbled around this box and he gave me a Libra lighter. Yeah, what about that? That is so cute, isn't it? I mean, he works in a drugstore. They probably got fired, like you did. And I want to say that was fantastic. The Yoni Gordon Orchestra. Also, another thing I want to say, do you know who shares your birthday? I'm sure you do, because everybody knows who shares their birthday. Christopher Lloyd. Jeff Goldblum. Derek Jacobi, Doris Lessing. But musicians. There's an amazing band that's called October the 22nd. And in it is me, you, Hal Gelb of Giant Sand, Annette Funicello, Chris Kirkwood from the Meat Puppets, and somebody from the Cars, one of the ones who's alive.
Somebody from the Cars.
Either Ben Orr or Greg Hawkes, whoever's alive. That's a supergroup right there.
Not bad, that's not bad.
So, this is a nice way to end a show. And thank you so much for coming. Singing a song in the morning, singing it again at night. I don't even know what I'm singing about, but it makes me feel I feel alright, yeah, yeah. It makes me feel I feel alright. Singing a song in the morning, singing what I'm singing about, but I feel alright, yeah, yeah. It makes me feel I feel alright. Becca now.
I don't know this song.
Everyone knows this song. I'll show you how it goes. I'll sing it once, and then you'll remember it. Singing a song in the morning, singing it again at night. I don't even I feel alright. He knows how.
Singing a song in the morning, well, I'm singing a song at night. Well, I don't even know what I'm singing about, but it makes me feel I feel alright. I feel alright.
Becky, find fire sheets.
Singing a song in the morning, singing a song at night. I don't even know what the song's about, but I'm singing the song all right now, singing the song all right.
Singing a song in the morning, singing it again at night. Don't even know what I'm singing about, but no, it makes me feel alright. Yeah, no, it
Becca knows it now. Becca knows it.
Singing a song in the morning, or singing late at night. I don't know what I'm singing about, but it makes me feel alright. Yeah, it makes me feel alright.
keyboards, on the keyboard. Trombone, saxophone. Down. Feel alright, yeah, yeah. Well, it made me feel I feel alright. Well, singing a song in the morning, singing it again at night. I don't even know what I'm singing about, but it makes me feel I feel alright, yeah, yeah. It makes me feel I feel alright. One more time now. Singing a song in the morning, singing a song, singing it again at night. I don't even know what I'm singing about, but it makes me feel I feel alright, yeah, yeah. It makes me feel I feel alright. Bridge! Yoni Gordon Orchestra, Becky Fine Fire Sheets, Becca Chase, thanks so much for coming. Well done, Wamfest. Jonathan Demi all day tomorrow. It's a big day. Get some sleep.